It was the sound of the spoon that broke me. Just one soft sound, a silver spoon hitting the edge of a coffee cup. That's all it took. My hands froze. My chest got tight. The girl behind the counter smiled and asked if I needed sugar. But I couldn't hear her. My eyes were locked on the cup. The steam, the shaking in my fingers, the sound. It took me back to that morning. Cold, quiet. My mom sitting at the table in her old gray sweater. She always wore that one when she didn't feel okay. The coffee was in front of her, full, untouched. She just stared out the window like she was watching something far away or waiting for something that never came. I asked if she wanted breakfast. She didn't answer. I said, "Mom, I'm gonna be late." Still, nothing. I grabbed my bag, walked to the door, then stopped. I looked at her again. I should have stayed, but I didn't. I left. That was 10 months ago. Now I sit in this coffee shop, hundreds of miles from home, with a good job and my own place. People say I've made it. They say I'm lucky, but I don't feel lucky. I feel like I left a part of me behind in that motel room. Her. My mom. She told me it was okay to go. She told me to take the job. She smiled when I packed my bag. She said she'd be fine, but I saw her hands shake when I closed the door. I heard her cry when she thought I was too far to hear. And still, I left. And now, every time I hear that sound, paction the spoon on the cup, I remember that day. That gray sweater, that silence, and I wonder if she's still waiting. Her name was Sierra. She walked into the diner one night, wearing red boots and a big smile. I hadn't seen her in 5 years. We hugged like kids again. She ordered fries, then looked at me and said, "You still here, Maddie?" I laughed. Still here. She said she was in town for 2 days. Said she worked at a bar in Nashville. Said they were looking for someone like me. "You're fast, you're smart, and you don't look tired," she joked. I did look tired, but I smiled anyway. She pulled out her phone, showed me pictures of the bar, neon lights, music, people dancing. I hadn't danced in years, not since Dad died, not since Mom started sleeping through the day. Sierra leaned closer. "Come to Nashville. You don't belong in this little place. You need more." I looked down at my apron. It had flour on it. That night, I told Mom about the offer. She was folding her socks. Quiet. "I'll only go for a bit," I said. She nodded, but didn't look up. "You should go. I'll find a small motel near the clinic. You'll like it. It's quiet." She said nothing, just kept folding. "I'll send money. I'll call every day." Still quiet. Then she looked at me. Her eyes were soft, tired. "I'll be fine." I wanted to believe her. 2 days later, I helped her pack one small bag. I set her up in a cheap motel 3 blocks from the medical center. I bought food. I paid for 3 weeks. I gave her a new phone. She hugged me at the door. It was short, and her hands were cold. I said, "I'll be back soon." She smiled. But it wasn't a real smile. It was the kind of smile you wear when your heart is heavy. The kind that says, Please don't leave me. But I did. I stepped outside, the sun warm on my face. I told myself I was doing the right thing, and I walked away. Nashville was loud. The air smelled like beer, smoke, and something fried. The lights never went off, not even at 3 a.m. People talked fast, danced hard, and lived like they didn't care if tomorrow came. It was nothing like Toledo. I started work that same week. The bar was always full. Loud music, fast hands, tips in jars. My feet hurt by midnight, but the money was good, better than I ever made back home. Sierra was right. I was fast. I learned quick. And for a while, I forgot why I came. I bought a new coat, paid for better shoes, took pictures for the first time in years. I sent some money back to the motel every Friday. I didn't always call. Some nights I was too tired. Some nights I just forgot. I told myself, she's okay. She said she would be. Week 1 passed. Then, week 2, her calls stopped. I told myself maybe the phone was off. Maybe she was sleeping. Maybe she didn't need me like before. That should have made me feel better. It didn't. One night, while walking home after a late shift, I passed by a girl sitting alone on the curb. She looked cold. Her arms were wrapped around her knees. She reminded me of Mom. Not her face, just the way she sat. Still, small, like the world had moved on without her. I stopped walking. I just stood there, looking at her. My heart started to race. I thought, what if Mom's doing the same thing right now? I pulled out my phone. I called her. It rang again, then nothing. I tried again. Still, nothing. That was the first time I felt it in my chest. The fear, the guilt. It sat there like a rock. I told myself I'd call again tomorrow, but I didn't sleep that night, not even a minute. The call came at 6:42 p.m. I was behind the bar, wiping glasses. My phone buzzed in my back pocket. I thought it was Sierra. I smiled as I pulled it out, but it wasn't her. It was a number I didn't know. I stepped outside to answer. The air was cool, but my hands were hot. A man's voice spoke, calm but heavy. Is this Maddie? Yes. I'm calling from St. Mary's Medical. It's about your mother. My knees felt weak. I leaned on the wall. She was found in her room this morning. Motel staff called us. She hadn't eaten in days. She was weak, dehydrated. My throat went dry. Is she okay? She's stable now, but she's not speaking much. We thought you should know. I didn't say thank you. I just hung up. The door behind me opened. Music poured out. Laughter, lights, life. But inside me, it was dark. I walked back in, gave Sierra my apron. I have to go, I said. She didn't ask why. I packed my bag in 10 minutes. I didn't check the mirror. I didn't say goodbye. I took the last bus out that night. It was cold. The ride was long. I watched the road, but didn't see a thing. I thought about her alone in that motel room. The small television, the thin walls, the gray light. I saw her sitting on the edge of the bed, holding the bag I packed for her, waiting. I had money in my pocket, a full coat, good shoes, but I felt poor in the worst way, like I'd lost something I couldn't ever buy back. She told me to go, but deep down, I knew. She never wanted me to leave. The hospital was quiet. I walked through the doors and smelled bleach and something else I couldn't name. A nurse asked for my name. Then she pointed down a long hall. "She's in room 104, she said. I walked slow. My hands shook. My chest felt tight. I stopped at the door. I wasn't ready, but I opened it. She was lying there. Her skin looked pale. Her hair was a little messy. She had one hand on her chest, the other on the bed. She didn't move when I walked in. I pulled the chair close, sat her down. I wanted to say something, but my voice stayed inside, so I just watched her sleep. 10 minutes passed, maybe more. Then her eyes opened. She didn't smile. She didn't speak. She just looked at me. And in that look, I saw everything. Pain, love, and something else. Something like goodbye. She closed her eyes again, turned her head a little, like she couldn't hold it up anymore. I reached for her hand. It felt small in mine, cold. On the table, near her bed, was a small paper bag. Inside was her phone, a bottle of water, 2 crackers, and a folded note. I didn't open it right away. I just held it, like if I waited, maybe the words inside would change. Later, I stepped outside the room and opened the note. It was short. "Don't feel bad. I knew you'd go." That's what good girls do. They leave to become something better. But Maddie, I didn't stop missing you. Not one day. I held the paper to my chest and cried. Right there, in the hall, near the exit sign. She hadn't left me, but I had left her. And I knew nothing I did now could make it right. I stayed by her side all night. The nurses came in and out, checked her numbers, wrote on paper, left. I didn't move much. I just held her hand. She never said a word, just slept or rested with her eyes closed. Morning came slow. The sun through the window was soft. I watched the light fall on her face. She looked peaceful now, not like before, not like the last time I saw her at the motel. This was different, like something inside her had let go. I didn't know what to do next. She didn't open her eyes again. Doctor said she was weak, but stable, that she needed rest, food, time. But something inside me told me the truth. She wasn't getting better. Not really. Later, I walked outside the hospital to breathe. The cold air hit my face. I sat on the steps, held my phone, and stared at the black screen. I didn't want to call anyone. Not Sierra. Not work. Not even the motel. Just then, a woman sat beside me. I didn't see her face, just heard her voice. "You okay, sweetie?" I shook my head. She didn't say anything else, just gave me a small pack of tissues, then got up and walked away. That was enough. I stood up and walked back in. But before I opened the door again, I thought of you, the one listening. If you've ever had someone you loved fall apart in front of you and you didn't know what to do, I want to tell you this. Take care of yourself, please. Drink water. Sit still for a bit. Breathe. And if you're still here, just type 7 in the comments. That's all. I'll see it. And I'll know I'm not alone either. Then I turned the handle and walked back into the room. And I sat with her again. 3 days passed. She didn't open her eyes again. She breathed slow. Her hand stayed cold in mine. I slept in the chair, ate crackers from the machine down the hall, and stared at the clock on the wall. Every sound felt too loud. Every minute felt too long. On the 4th morning, I signed the form, the one that said I could take her home. They gave me a small bag with her pills, a note from the nurse, and a list of things I had to do. I nodded. I said thank you, but I wasn't sure what I was doing. I brought her back to our old place. The same couch, same table, same window, but everything looked smaller now, or maybe I was just tired. She stayed in bed most of the time. I made soup, turned on soft music, and read to her from old books she liked. But she didn't talk. She just listened. Or maybe not. I couldn't tell. One night, I asked her, "Do you know I'm here?" Her eyes moved a little. I took that as yes. I sat by her bed every night after that. I didn't cry anymore. There was nothing left to cry out. But something changed inside me. I stopped blaming myself. She was my mom, and I loved her, but I couldn't save her. Some days, that truth hurt more than anything. One night, I left the window open. The sky was full of stars. Cold wind touched my skin. I watched her sleep. Her chest rose, then fell, again and again. Then I looked at her face, and I knew the time was near. I held her hand, and I waited. She passed on a Monday. The clock said 4:17 a.m. It was quiet. The sky was still dark. I didn't hear it happen. I just felt it. Her hand stopped feeling like a hand. It felt like paper. I sat there for a long time, didn't move, didn't cry, just looked at her face. She looked at peace, like she was done waiting. Later that morning, the people came. They asked kind questions. They moved slow. I signed more forms. They gave me more papers. One woman put her hand on my back. I didn't feel it. I went home alone. I closed the door, Saturday on the floor, and I stayed there for hours. That night, I took out her things. Not many, 1 box, some books, her gray sweater. I held it to my face. It still smelled like her. The next day, I walked to the store. I bought soup, tea, and bread. When I got home, I saw a paper on the floor. I didn't remember dropping it. It was a note. Her writing, "Maddie, you are more than what you gave. You were always enough, and even when I couldn't speak, I knew you were near. That was more than I ever asked for." I sat on the porch with that note in my hand. A neighbor walked by. He waved. I nodded. Then I looked at the sky. It was still blue. The world hadn't stopped, and I didn't know what came next. But I knew I had to keep going, even if I had to start small. One step, then another. 2 weeks after the funeral, I went back to the hospital. Not as a visitor. I asked if they needed help. They didn't have a real job for me, but they let me clean trays, wipe windows, fold blankets. I didn't care. I just wanted to be near something quiet, something that didn't ask me to talk too much. On my lunch break, I sat outside by the trees. I watched people walk by, nurses, moms, kids. One woman pushed her father in a chair. His face looked tired, but she kept talking to him like he could hear everything. That stayed with me. That night, I opened my laptop for the first time in months. I wrote a short post, just a few lines. I left my mom in a motel and went chasing a better life. She said it was okay, but I knew it wasn't. This is what came next. I didn't think anyone would read it, but they did. Hundreds. Then more. People left comments like, "I did the same with my dad, still hurts." Or, "You're not alone. I needed this today." I started writing more. Not big stories, just small things. Little thoughts from long days, memories of her hands, her laugh, her love for black coffee. One night, someone sent me a message. They said they were caring for their sick mom and didn't know if they could keep going, but after reading my post, they held on one more night. That broke something in me, and fixed something too. I still worked at the hospital, still wiped windows, but now, once a week, I helped in a small room with soft lights. A group of us sat on chairs and talked, or just listened. Some people cried. Some just sat still. But we were there, and that was enough. 1 year later, I opened a small kitchen downtown. It wasn't big, just 3 tables, 1 stove, and an old fridge that made noise when it ran. I called it the quiet place. People came in slowly at first. A tired dad, a lonely teen, a girl who just needed soup and silence. I didn't ask questions. I served food, poured tea, and smiled when they looked lost. Every plate had a little note. Some said, "You are not broken." Some said, "One more day." They didn't have my name on them, but they had my mom's words. One day, I hung a photo on the wall. It was my favorite. She was in the park, wearing her gray sweater, laughing at something I'd said. Behind her, the leaves were red and gold. It looked like the sky had touched the ground. A woman saw the photo and asked, "Is that your mom?" I said, "Yes." She smiled. "She looks like she loved you very much." "She did," I said, "and I loved her too. I still do." That night, I sat by the window with a warm cup in my hand. The air was cool, the stars were out, and for once, my chest didn't feel so heavy. I still missed her. I always would. But the pain had changed. It had shape now, a place to sit, a place to speak, a place to feed someone who needed to feel human again. That was enough. And maybe, just maybe, somewhere out there, She saw me and smiled. Some goodbyes do not come with words. Some love is quiet. It does not ask for thanks. It does not ask to be seen. But it stays, even in pain, even in silence. This story is not about one big moment. It is about the little ones. A gray sweater, a warm hand, a bag packed with care, a small note written with soft hands. These things do not shout, but they speak. Time moves fast. Life pulls us in many ways. We think we will have more days, more talks, more time to say the things that matter, but not always. Sometimes the people we love just want to know we are near, not perfect, not strong, just there. Maddie thought she left to find more, but she found more by coming back. She found that real care is not shown by big acts, but by small, kind steps, by waiting, by listening, by holding a hand through the night. And when there is nothing left to do, love is still enough. That is what stays when the room goes quiet. That is what fills the chair long after it is empty. Maybe there's someone in your life right now who's waiting, not for a gift, not for a grand act, just for your voice, a simple call, a quiet visit, a moment that says, I see you, I'm still here. We don't always know the weight of silence until it's too late to break it. Maybe you've walked away from someone because life got fast, or maybe you've stayed but forgot how to show up with your heart. That happens to all of us. But there's still time. Even one small step can open a door again. And maybe, just maybe, you're the one who needs that hand today. The one who feels forgotten. The one who sits by a window, hoping someone reaches out. If this story made you feel something, anything, please don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone you love. Someone who might be quiet right now, but still holding on. Or maybe someone who just needs a little peace, a soft voice, and a reason to smile today. They might not say it out loud, but they'll be thankful you did. If you liked the story, comment number 7. If you think the story could be better, comment number 8. We are always here, working hard to bring you the best stories. Thank you for watching, our dear friends. Your support means everything to us. See you in the next story.